So welcome everyone to today's interesting section. Welcome. Let's start joining as we go live in today's interesting and wonderful section. Let's start joining as we go live in today's wonderful interesting conversation. So today we're analyzing basically today we're analyzing Maro USDT. We'll be analyzing it on Gate.io today. We'll actually be using technical analysis to analyze this token to check. You can see very well based on this right now. You can see the market was between yesterday today. The market has actually been going well. You can see currently it's currently at 0.02. So now if you're thinking of buying early, now is an early looking at an early buy is now is a kind of a good time to actually go into the market. But basically, before we go into analyzing this market, basically I do talk about understanding what the market is talking about, understanding what the market is saying before you tend to go into the market to invest and order. So now, what is the market saying? What is the technonomies about the market? What do you need to know about the market? How can you actually invest in it and all that? All these points will be looking at in the cost of. So you can see the wings. You can see how the wings are moving. You can see everything. So we'll be analyzing this token in today's conversation. Also, we'll be checking what is the people, what are the people behind this project, what is the white paper behind the project, both the technical analysis and the fundamental analysis, if it's actually still going to sustain the strength of time over time. That is what we'll be looking at in the course of today's section. So welcome everyone to today's interesting section. So let's start joining as we go live in today's conversation. So that is what we'll be looking at in today's. We're looking at the fundamental analysis, also looking at the technical analysis of this project to get what is the project really all about, what we need to take note of when looking at this project. All these are what we'll be talking about in the course of today's interesting conversation. So please, if you're here to join us, if you're here to follow our profile, please can you do so that whenever we are live, you will be signified live whenever we are live, and you will miss out on any section as we keep pushing forward, as we keep moving forward in the course of today's conversation. So now, when talking about this period, you can see where it's currently ranging right now. Let me put in the kind of a trading view aspect. Let's check it big. Now you can see where it's currently ranging. Currently you can see how it has been. Now this is in the 1 hour time frame, and other you can see where it's currently ranging. This was around day before yesterday, and other it got this push in the market, and you can see it has actually been ranging, and right now it came back, but it was ranging in this place throughout let me just say throughout yesterday it has actually been in this place, but you can see this massive push in which we got here. It happened just yesterday stroke this morning. This massive push we have here, you just between the middle of this night to this morning on the 27th, you can see this massive push in which we saw here in the market space. So now, what is the cost of this in the market? So all this we're actually going to be analyzing it to get okay, what is the meaning of this in the market space? What do we need to take note of when analyzing the market, when we say okay, this is what has actually been happening in the market, this is what is the cause of what has actually been happening in the market, and all the basic information that we need to actually take note of. We'll actually be looking at deeper understanding about all this as we move ahead. So please, let's keep joining. We're welcome, you're welcome as we keep pushing forward in the course of today's session. Let's keep joining as we keep moving forward in the course of today's session. Please if you have any question whatsoever, please you can actually ask on the chat box so that justice can be done as we move ahead in the course of today's session. Good morning, welcome to today's interesting section. Welcome to today's interesting section. So please, you can keep joining as we move ahead in the course of today's session. You can keep joining as we move ahead in the course of two section. So now, what are we actually talking about when analyzing this project? What is this project really all about? Now, remember what I told you guys, before you go into any project to actually invest in another, it is very, very important that you understand the technologies behind the project. What is the project really all about, and all that. All this will actually give you an edge when actually going into the project to actually invest, because you already understand, okay, this is what the project is really all about, this is how you can actually go into the project, this is what this project is actually going into. Now getting a kind of an idea or a first-hand information about what the project is actually really all about and how to actually invest in will give you an edge when talking about the market himself, when trying to go into the market to actually invest in it and other. So all these points are actually what we need to understand when looking at. I remember yesterday I talked about different, how to use your candlestick, what you when you see the wings, how to actually understand how it moves and all that. So now looking at this token now, so let's analyze it to get more information about it. Let's go to trading view to analyze it. Now we're actually currently trading this on gate.io. We are currently trading this on gate.io. So if you are looking for a token to actually trade right now, this is actually you can see how it has actually been raging. You can see the wings, a lot of buying, a lot of selling has actually been happening in the market space. So they've not actually agreed have a kind of, it's all about buying and selling in the crypto market. Now, okay, let me start from this angle. Let me draw my line here. Down below, where should we use? Which structure did it broke? Let me say this structure. Let me put it here. It actually broke this line here. So I believe you guys are understanding what is actually going on here. I believe you guys understand what is actually going on here in the market. I believe you guys are actually understanding what is going on here in the market space, what I'm actually currently doing. I believe you guys are understanding. Please, if you have any question, please you get free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's conversation. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you're free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's conversation. So now, based on all those line that's in which we've drawn here, what can you say? You can see this move in which we have here, in the market space. Now it has come on board to actually break the week is actually gradually going to actually break this line. Well, it's still going to break this line in which we have here, and you can see we're still actually going to see a very big move. Now, looking at the market, I do tell you guys that most of those tokens that we have actually follows the trend of Bitcoin, the way Bitcoin actually moves. That is the way most of these coins actually follow an order. Like it actually follows the trend of time. Okay, this is what Bitcoin is currently doing in the market space. That is how you actually know that, okay, yeah, this is what is actually happening in the market space. This is what we need to take note of when looking at the market space and order. So all these points are very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market space, when looking at, okay, what is currently happening, what is the latest news that is currently happening in the market space. And so this is how now you can actually see that Bitcoin is actually going well today. Bitcoin is actually doing well. You can see a very good move in the Bitcoin market. Let's check Bitcoin. We can see a good move in the Bitcoin market. Bitcoin. Let's just use this. Now you can see a good move in the Bitcoin. You can see the market itself. You can see, okay, this line I've actually drew it. I did some analysis and I drew this line here. Now look at it now. Bitcoin is gradually taking up. It has actually been pushing up and it's still going to break this line here. It's actually moving to actually break 29,600, which is actually a good sign that the market is actually been coming back to normal. The market has actually been going well in today's market when looking at today's market and order. So now you can see this market being pushing. Now if we go to crypto bubbles, like crypto bubbles, to check tokens, you will actually see a lot of tokens have actually been going well, have actually been doing well in the market today. Let's check crypto bubbles. Let's check crypto bubbles to see what has been happening in the market. Let's check crypto bubbles to see what has been happening in the markets today. Now, looking at crypto bubbles, you can see that a lot of tokens have actually been doing well, in the market. So if you have any token and other, please, you can actually check it out. Because you can see a lot of tokens in 200. You can see a lot of them has actually been doing well in the market. Yesterday, this morning, this in a lot of them. You can see now in the daytime frame, you can see 17, 14x, 10x, text 10%, from Link gave 5%, Uni gave 2.7% and all that. So all these are actually important information. Uniswap actually gave 5% and all this actually basic information. Where is this one again? Because I actually bought Ocean. Where is Ocean? Ocean actually had a little bit of push. I think like 1% push in the markets yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check it. Ocean, can I see it? Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay, Ocean just went up a little bit to 3.5. It just had a little bit of push yesterday, because during the market it went down, but went down to 3.4, 3.3, but now it's had a little bit of push. So you can see Pepe actually also had a kind of a pushed up, and Phantom actually has a push in the market space of yesterday. I mean, not today, stroke yesterday, and all that. So all these are actually important points that we need to actually know when talking about the market. What you need to understand, what is currently happening in the market space, and the tokens that's actually been doing well in the market space and other. So if you're looking at going to the market to actually trade or to actually invest, now is the right time to actually start keying into the market, because the market is actually coming back. We're gradually getting to the end of getting to the end of the year. Okay, end of July and thereabout. But for Monday is actually going to be first, if I'm not mistaken, of this month. So it's actually a good sign. It's actually a good way to actually start investing in the crypto market when looking at it and others. So all these points are actually important conversation that we need to understand, when looking at the market. Now you can see the in-depth of what has been happening in the market space. You can see that it is like an in-depth of what has been happening in the market space. You can see it. You can see how it has actually been the buying and the selling, how it has actually been ranging, and all that. All these points are actually very, very important that we need to that we actually need to take note of when looking at the market space. What do we need to understand? What is currently going on in the market space? All these points are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note. Now, what is the essence of this token? What are actually behind this token? What is the tokenomics of this project that we're actually talking about? What are they? What do they do? And all that. All these points are what we'll be looking at in the course of today's interesting conversation. What those points are what we want to be looking at in the course of today's conversation. So please, if you're just joining us for the first time, you're welcome. Please kindly do follow our profile so that whenever we are live, you will be signified live whenever we're live, and you miss out on any section as we keep pushing forward in the course of today's interesting conversation. Please we are welcome. You are welcome. Oh, thanks for the rose. You are welcome to today's interesting conversation as we keep pushing forward. So now, in talking more about this token, you can say let's do more analysis about what the tokenomics of this project is. What is the tokenomics of this project? What is the project actually saying? What is it really all about? And all that. Let's get more analysis about it. Like you can see it now. You can see based on here, what do we have about it? We can say, okay, the micro blockchain is a decentralized and secured i-platform blockchain platform designed to support the development of decentralized application. That is what the project is actually that is what this project is actually really all about, which actually gives you a sign that, oh yes, this project is actually a good project that I can look into. So now you can see the micro blockchain is a decentralized and secured i-platform blockchain platform designed to actually support development of decentralized application. So it's actually been designed to support development of design application when looking at it. So all these are actually important points that we need to know when looking at this project, when trying to explain what the project is actually really all about. What are the basic information that we need to know about this project? So it's actually designed, it's actually developed it's actually to support decentralized. It's not just to support decentralized. In what way is it actually supporting decentralized application? That is what, because now you have to check that, okay, the project I'm actually going into, it actually has a tokenomics. What is the tokenomics of the project? What is the price prediction of the project I'm actually talking about? What in the long run, what do I start to benefit? What do I start to benefit from investing in the project? All these points are actually very, very important that we all need to know before we invest in any project whatsoever. So now, in moving ahead, in talking more about this project, you can see what it actually says here. Apart from it's being secure or it's decentralized, and also has a high performance blockchain designed to support the development of the centralized app. Now, with a chain architecture and open infrastructure, micro empowers users and developers to directly connect and build upon global economy and other. That is what they actually do when talking about it and other. So they actually help to empower. They actually help. If I have that, now this token is actually a good token to actually key into, because the market is actually doing well and the token is currently actually doing well when looking at it. You can actually check it right now on trade on Gateway.io. If you're yet to start trading this token, please, it's a good token that you can actually start investing into trade on currently on Gateway.io, because the market is actually doing well right now. Now is not a good time to actually invest in it to buy. When looking at token that you should invest in, token that you should buy. This token is actually a good token that you can actually invest in currently and buy if you are looking for what to actually invest in. So all this actually important point that we need to actually know when talking about it. So now let's go ahead to check about the tokenomics of this project. What is the white paper currently saying about the project before we move ahead to come to the coin market cap to check more analysis about this project. So now, before we come to CoinMarketCap to check about more analysis about this project we're talking about, what is the white paper of this project? Now, the white paper of this project, now the blockchain solution is the massive adoption of a sustainable token economy when looking at it and all that. So now, in getting more analysis about this token and what they're actually really all about, what they actually have to do and all that. So the company name is TTT. That is actually the company name. Let's check more analysis about this token. Let me go down to the analysis, because we need to get information about what the token is actually really all about before you can actually say, okay, I'm actually investing in this project. This is what I'm actually investing in. Now you can actually invest in a project in which you don't know what the project is actually really all about, in which you don't know, okay, this is what the project is actually all about, this is what the project is actually doing and all that. So we need to understand that, okay, yeah, this is what I'm actually investing in before you actually going into investing in it and all that. So that is what we'll be looking at in the course of today's. This is not it. So all this actually, now looking at this here, you can say now this is the website of it. Now it's actually connect, cooperate, and prosper. That is their motto: connect, connect, cooperate, and prosper. Now connect and cooperate to create a kind of a valuable opportunity to build. Try to connect and cooperate to create a kind of a valuable opportunity to build and prosper, to build a prosperous world when looking at it. So that is what they actually do. That is their mission. Now the mission is to open. The mission of this project is to the mission of this micro is to actually that is this now the mission. The mission of this project is actually to open an infrastructure that seamlessly connects millions of global economy markets. That is their mission when looking at it. Now this is their mission when looking at, okay, what is the mission of this project? Now the mission of this project is to actually connect. The mission of this project is to actually build an infrastructure that seamlessly connects millions of global economy markets. That is one point we need to know when looking at the market, when looking at understanding what they are actually really all about, understanding the basic points that we need to understand about this project and other. Now remember, I do tell you guys that before you're looking at, okay, the fundamental analysis, you need to understand the technical analysis of this project and others, which is one important point that we need to understand. So you're not just focusing on the technical analysis to get okay, what is the market saying. You're also looking at the fundamental analysis to get, okay, this is what the spirit is actually saying. This is how I can actually go into this market to actually invest in over the period of time and gain interest over the period of time, which is one important point that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market. So we're trying to invest into the market and all that. So the microeconomy is actually an open source infrastructure that connects millions of global economy markets. So it's actually built to actually connect millions of global economy markets when looking at it on the resource or when trying to invest into it. And that all those points are actually important conversation that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market or when trying to go into the market and all that. Now the microeconomy, like the micro, provide an efficiency for easy use platform to value chain, to value exchange, and also secure financial services for global citizens. Now no more than and restriction and claim that the rights you deserve to pump in your hand and other. Now, they actually provide a valuable exchange platform for everyone. They actually provide a kind of a valuable exchange. And also, now the micro grants me more work than I expected. I could easily, now this is just like a feedback. So now you can watch, what can you actually picture for me? You can see that they are actually having a form of impact to community. They're actually having a form of impact to community, which is one important factors that you need to know that anything that has to do with taking care of people, women, anything that has to do with taking care of women, impacting nations and all that is a very, very good sign that, okay, yeah, these people are just this is actually a good project. They're actually building something that is actually going to sustain the strength of time when looking at it, which is actually a good project to actually invest in when looking at it, when trying to explain what they are actually really all about and all that. So all these factors are actually important point that we need to take note of when analyzing it, when trying to check, okay, this is what the project is actually really all about. This is what we need to take note of when looking at the project and other. So all these factors, they're actually building a kind of millions trying to connect the economy, the global economy market, which is one important factors. And a lot of people are actually giving testimonies on what they've actually been doing, on the impact they've actually gotten. Now we can see this: the micro grants me more work than I expected. I could easily do work on my phone and earn extra income. And all while caring for my family. I'll be able to buy a TV station in a month. When this is one testimony and other. Now it actually provides solution. It actually provides a financial solution for everyone and all that. So now let's go about, like I said, the different people actually give. You can check their website. You can go to their website to check what they're actually really all about and all that. Now This actually a developer. Now we are making an ecosystem that sustain a day to day, and that is more sustained day to day. I feel proud when our user express satisfaction on our user and all that. So all this, you can see all this now are what they're actually really all about. This is a science, this is the machine learning science story. Now this is different people actually having their own side of what their platform is actually really all about. What you need to take note of when looking at the platform, when trying to invest into the platform, and what they're actually really all about, what the ecosystem is actually really all about. So all these points are actually very, very important when talking about when you're talking about the market space, we're talking about what they are actually really all about, what you need to take note of when looking at them and all that. So let's move ahead to talk more. Let's move ahead to talk more about. Let's go to the coin market cap to analyze this token to get more analysis about what is currently. Now you can see it now. It's actually it is in a daytime frame. You can see the massive push from this time in from this that was around from yesterday to where it has currently. Yesterday it was around 0.020, and right now it has actually moved. You can see this massive move in which it had here. It has broken one, it has gotten to 0.02221 and other. You can see this bullish you can see this bullish on the market when looking at the market space. And then let's put it in all day time frame. Now the all day time, when you put it in all right now, you can see that it has gotten to 7. Looking at it, it has actually gotten to 7 around 2021, and right now 2021 we have 2021, 2021, 2022, 2023 and other. Now it has actually gotten to 7, and right now it's back. It got to 2, and right now it's back to 2.2 and all that. And there is large tendency that it's still going to come up to actually break. If it can actually break this to it's likely still going to break this angle in which you have here. That is this angle in which you have it, which is around 2.3, 2.5 thereabout. It might actually even get to 30 before we can actually see anything retracing back in the market. So if looking at it looking at analyzing it in the market space, and it's actually a good sign to actually invest into the market when looking at this token. When looking at, okay, is this the right time to actually invest into the market? What is the market really all about? Another. So all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of, that when talking about how to actually go into the market, how to actually invest into the market, and all these factors are actually important point that we need to know when talking about the market space. And so let's get more analysis about the market space, what the market is saying concerning this project. Let's check the tokenomics behind it. Now you can see it now, the total supply of this token currently. You can see the total supply of this token. You can see the maximum supply. You can see the one diluted. So over to just little percent has actually been diluted into the market. When looking at just little percent has actually been diluted into the market and order. Now you can see it now. You can see the market cap. You can see the market cap right now. You can see the volume. You can see the trading volume in 24 hours. This is actually the trading volume when looking at it in 24 hours. You can currently see it here. Then you can see the market cap volume, the volume and market cap 24 hours. That is around 1.19, 91%. You can see the circulating supply. You can see the total supply. You can see how many maximum supply diluted into the market. Actually be diluted into the market. Now let's check the all-time high, the all-time high, the all-time low. You can see it here. The all-time high was around 0.8. It actually got it to 0.8. And the all-time low was around 0.009. That is the all-time. So even though looking at the all-time high and looking at the all-time low, the market is actually looking bullish. Looking at the all-time low, that was 2019 and other. But looking at the all-time high, the market is actually is not actually bullish when looking at it and other. So all these actually important points that we need to understand when looking at the market space, when looking at what the market is currently saying, what we need to take note of when understand when looking at the market himself, what are the various factors that we need to actually consider when looking at the market himself. And all these points are actually important points that we need to take note of when analyzing the market, when going into the market and other. Now let's check the news and other. What is the news about this market that we're actually talking about? You can see it here, the micro global. You can see it here. We can actually see it. Can everyone see it? Yeah, everyone can see. Now you can see the micro is a global economy of people to connect and cooperate and prosper. That is their destiny. Now they are actually a global economy to connect to connect, cooperate, and prosper. That is one of their mission. That is one of their goal when looking at it. Now, as an open blockchain infrastructure, user can directly connect to a global economy with so that they actually provide a form of connections. Now, they are just actually help you that okay, in our platform, you can actually come to actually connect when looking at when trying to say that okay, I'm actually going to this platform and that they give you a kind of sincerity, or when going to the platform, a place in which you actually connect with the world in general. They give you a form of security when looking at the platform itself. Okay, this is what the platform actually does. This is how you can actually go about it when looking at that. That's why we have that as an open source blockchain infrastructure. User can directly connect to a global economy with micro. Now, the micro unique multi-tied DOS concessions and multi-network mechanisms can offer a scalable blockchain with high put-through and sustainable token economy when looking at it and all that. So all these actually important point, all actually important factor that we must consider. Now look at their mission. The first mission area they have is to provide a market where efficiency, value, and exchange can take place. That is their first mission, to actually provide a kind of a value where a kind of a place where valuable exchange can actually take place when looking at it. And also the micro provide an accessible and secure financial solution when looking at it. So all these points I'm actually talking about are actually important when looking at the market. So when trying to understand what the market is saying, how you can actually go about the market, what are the various points you need to understand when looking at the market itself. And so all those points in which we're talking about right now actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market. What is the market currently saying? What do we need to take note of when looking at the market itself? What are the various factors we must consider when analyzing the market itself? And so all those points are actually very, very important that we must actually take note of when looking at the market and all that. So all this point now, in moving forward in getting more analysis about it, now you can see the first one. The micro provides a market for efficiency where efficiency value can actually take place. Now, apart from that one, also apart from that one in which we have here, let me just type it out. Apart from that, also in which we have here, what other point does this actually provide? What other point does this actually provide? It also provides a kind of it actually provides an accessible and secure financial solution. So it actually provides a more secure and financial solution when looking at it on the real sense, and it actually provides a more secure and financial solution when looking at the market space, or when trying to analyze what they are actually really all about, what you need to take note about them and other, which is one important factor that we must consider when looking at the markets and other. I believe you guys are following me. Please, if you're listening to me and you're here to follow my profile, you're getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys, please can you do follow my profile so that whenever I'm live, you will be signified live whenever I'm live, and you must out on any section as we keep moving forward in the course of today's section. So now the third one also, it actually provide an open source or a kind of an open and sustainable blockchain infrastructure. So it actually provide an open source infrastructure, a sustainable open source and sustainable infrastructure when looking at it, which is also a very important factor that we must actually consider also when looking at the market space. We're looking at what they're actually really all about, what we need to take note of, then what are the basic points that we need to take note of when understanding, when looking at, when investing into the market, or when trying to say, okay, this is what the market is actually really about. This is how we can actually go into the market to actually invest and other, which is one important factor that we must all consider when analyzing the market, or when looking when keying into the market. So all these points are actually important points that we must all take note of. All these actually important points that we must actually all take note of when looking at the market space, when trying to invest into the market and all that. So all these actually important news that we must actually pinpoint and take note of when looking at the market and all that. Now, what is the and you can see it now, you can see the ecosystem, the micro ecosystem, sustainable blockchain with high throughput and actually a sustainable token economy. Just as a sustainable, the token economy is actually very, very sustainable and all that. Now the economy is an open network collaboration with transparent and incentive net mechanisms, and also we have the ecosystem actually has different protocol. That is, we have the micro blockchain, we have the Acron protocol and all that. Now, this actually the top one actually it's actually a secure and efficient decentralized finance solution for staking and collaborating debt when looking at it. And also, what is the key services when looking at it? Now look, these are actually the key services when they look at it. So now the micro connects with a secure and easy use of mobile wallet on the micro network. Now the micro allows users to connect to vote for their representative, transfer assets, and make payment. Also, users may utilize the staking services, collaborate debt services, and more through a DeFi services, while all having a direct hand access to a decentralized exchange when looking at it on various dApp and others. And also, the micro is actually a decentralized offer when looking at tools that and information on the micro network when looking at it for developers and others. And also, when looking at the micro scan is a tool. Now, these are actually the key services in which they offer when looking at it. Oh, thanks for the rose. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate meaning you're actually following me and getting what I'm actually dishing out in the course of today's session. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Let's keep journeying. Let's keep journeying as we keep moving forward, in the course of today's conversation. So now the microscan is a tool where users can search for all transactions made on the micro blockchain. That is where you can actually scan for all these actually their services in which they offer when looking at it. And also they have the micro box is a mobile wallet built on board of a base users. Now users can transform or can spectral and can enjoy the social network services, playing games and doing a lot of things, playing games and various other dApps. Now, vice the word box, users can actually create a valuable and get reward for their contribution anywhere and anytime when looking at the market space and when looking at what they're actually really all about. And all these actually important factors that we must all consider when looking at the market space, when trying to analyze the market, what the market is saying, how we can actually invest into the market space, and all these are actually important points that we must actually take note of when looking at it. So all this now looking at the market himself, looking at the market and other. Now looking at the market, looking at all. Now looking at it here, you can see it here. It's actually trading here on Gate.io. Also, if you're looking for ways in which you can see the volume is actually high, you can see liquidity, you can see the liquidity score here recently. This just recently updated. You can see the volume. This is what has actually been traded on the volume on 24 hours volume. You can see so a lot of people actually looking into the market, a lot of people actually buying into it and others, which is actually look at the in-depth, you can see the in-depth. I know that this is the price cap, this is the price in which you need to take note of and all that. So all these actually important signs that you need to know that, okay, yeah, this is what the market is saying, this is how I can actually go into the market to actually invest, this is what I will need to actually take note of when looking at the market. So all these factors are actually very, very important that we must all take note of when looking at the market, what we need to take note of, how we can actually go into the market, and that all these factors are actually very important when looking at the market space and all that. I believe you guys are following me and you guys are getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today. So you can actually tell me what is your own prediction. What is your own prediction about this token? Let me hear from you guys. What is your own prediction about this token? Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. What is your own prediction about this token? Let's hear from you guys and others. Well, currently, the market is currently very, very bullish when looking at this token. When trying to look into this token, it's actually and it's actually a great coin to actually invest in. If you're looking at investing in this token is actually a good token that you can actually invest in when looking at and this token himself is actually a good token. It's actually very bullish and it's actually a great token to actually investing because it has a lot. It has to investing in people, and over time it's actually a good project. It's not just only the token. The project is actually a good project that you can actually look into and other in which you can actually make use of their platforms and other for any financial services and other. So it's actually a good project that you can actually trust and you can actually invest in when looking at it and other, because it has to do with impacts to humans. Anything that has to do with the impact to woman, and is actually going to be a very good project over time we're looking at. That's why you can actually see that that's why you can actually see the services or actually provide the website that actually provide information and data as such as price, such as information and all that. Is actually it's a very good platform to actually look into in investing in another. So all these points are actually very important that we must actually take note of when looking at the market. So when looking at what the market is saying, what we need to take note about the market and all that. Now, what other thing? Let's go back to the market himself. You can see it. You can see this push in which we've gotten here. We are still seeing more push in the market space over time. We are still seeing more push in the market space over time. That means the market is still doing well when looking at it. The market is still doing. Let's go back to trading view. Let's go back to trading view to get more analysis. Now you can see the market currently. What can you actually see happening here? You can see this move. You can see here before, just now, right now, I pushed it here. That said, okay, it is yet to break this line. Now you can see that it has broken this line. It was before. It has not broken this line when we started this analysis right now, but you can see it was around here, and right now it has moved here. It has actually broken this line in which we have here, in which we are still seeing. You can see the wings is still showing a little bit of strength, still showing that sign that it still wants to push more and other, which is actually a good sign. You can see this angle. You can see this place here. There's a lot of buying pressure. Let's go back. Let me go back to market. Let's go back to this. Let me show you guys something. Let's go back here. Let me show you guys something about what we're actually talking about. All this analysis are when you understand. That is why I do take you guys when anytime I'm actually taking you guys, I do take you guys some technical analysis, also join together with fundamental analysis to understand how the market is going, what you should expect from the market when looking at it. Now, what can you actually say? You can see a lot of things actually going on here when looking at it. You can see a lot of things actually going on here when looking at the market space. What can you actually see going on here when looking at the market space? You can see a lot of buying and selling pressure. You can see a lot of buying. You can see a lot of people bought here. You can see these people. It has to do with buying and selling. Now, the same people that bought, maybe they bought, sell. You can see all this has actually been ranging, but the buying pressure is actually very much when looking at it. Now you can see it now. It's actually coming back here. The buying pressure is actually much. Now looking at this area here in which we have here, a lot of people are actually buying. Just few people are actually selling up because they've actually seen the future price of this project. So all these actually signs that we need to understand when looking at the market. All these actually signs that we need to take note of when looking at the market. Based on this, you can actually see that a lot of people are actually keen into this project. You can see just few people are actually selling off. Now, looking at the reason why the market went down previously, you can see from this area here, you can see a lot of people actually sold off, a lot of people sold off, a lot of people sold off. You can see now this huge buy. You can see this huge buy that we have here. Now, based on what you can see, the people that is actually buying is actually more than the people that is actually selling, which is actually a good sign to actually also now come into the market to actually invest in it, in which you can actually see it here. Let's bring this one down. Let's bring this down also. Let's bring this down. You can see with this alone, you can see the buying pressure. You can see the ranging of buying pressure is more than the selling pressure. People that is actually selling is actually more than the people that is actually selling when looking at it. So all these actually important points that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market, when trying to analyze. Okay, this is what the market is saying. This is what the market is actually really about. This is how we can actually invest into the market. Currently, there's actually even. It has broken this line in which we have here. This line in which we have here, it has actually broken this line in which we have here. That means the market is actually doing well, and all that we can see a good sign of movement in the market space when looking at it on the route. So you can see a very good sign of push in the market space when looking at, which is actually a good sign of saying that the market is actually going according to plan and others. So all these signs are actually very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market space, when we're trying to say that okay, I want to invest into the market. How can I actually go into the market to actually invest and other? All these are actually a good sign that you know that okay, the market is actually going in this area. This is now how I want to invest into the market. This is what the market is saying and other. All these are actually very important in investing in the market, in going into the market, to perform any form of investment whatsoever. I believe you guys are getting what I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today's conversation. I believe you guys are actually getting what I'm actually dishing out in the course of today's. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course of today's conversation. Please, if you have any question, you are free to ask on the chat box so that justice can be done, so that I can do justice to it before we gradually come to an end of today's conversation. All this actually, so if you're looking at investing in this token right now, this is actually a good sign to actually invest in this market, because the market is actually doing very, very well currently. The market is actually currently doing very well when looking at the market. And just look at, just in few minutes of we just discussing, look at what's actually happening in the market, looking at what I've actually analyzed, and looking at how it has actually broken through everything I've actually talked about. Now we talked about, I said that it's breaking this line here, and it's actually done that already. You can see the massive move that it has actually done in the market over time, and now it has actually moved. Currently it's currently at it's actually currently here, and the indicator, you can see it here, in which is still moving. We are still going to see push in the market over time and other. So all these actually important points that we need to take note of when looking at the market and other. So now this market, for example, right now, it's yet to break this line, which is 0.02, which is going to it's still going to break this line and other. It's still going to break this line when looking at the market space. I don't know when, if it's break this line, what other other line is it going to break when looking at it? Let's go and check what has been happening so far, because now it's going to follow what has been happening before in the market space. Now what has actually been happening before in the market space, right? This was 0.1. Okay, we don't have this was where it started from. This was where it actually started from this area here. I think on gate.io, this was where it started from. So now looking at it here, looking at from this area here, in which it started from at 0.1, and right now it got to this area, and so now it's likely to still break this. It's likely to still break this area, in which we have it likely going to break this area. If everything goes well, it's likely still going to break this area. Let me put this line here again. Probably subsequently we might still come back to analyze, to check this analysis that we have concerning this project. And so all these points are actually very, very important. You get an analysis about what the project is actually really all about, what you need to know about it, what are the basic information that you need to know when looking at the project, and so when looking at what the project is actually, what you're actually trying to build, and all that. It will give you an insight of what you should expect when looking at the market, and so when looking at how to actually go into the market, how to actually invest in the market, and all this actually a good sign of investment in the market space and all that. So all these actually important points that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market. It's likely it's going to still push up to break this line, in which we've currently seen it's broke. Where there is on trading view is yet to show the sign on trading view, bro. You can see it here on CoinMarketCap. Right now it has actually broken. Let me go back to CoinMarketCap. You can see the move here on CoinMarketCap. You can see the push in which you can all see here on CoinMarketCap, in which it has actually done a very massive push. You can see the massive push in which it has actually giving us on CoinMarketCap, which is actually a good sign in the market space when looking at it on the real sense. And also all these are actually important point that we need to take note of when looking at the market, or when trying to look at, okay, is this the right time to actually go into the market? Is this the right time to actually invest into the market? Well, like someone will say, there's not a perfect time to actually go. You just need to understand that, okay, this is how the market is actually going. This is what the market. Now, you can see this line, it's yet to actually break this line, in which it's still moving. So actually, if it breaks this line, then that means the market is actually going to push up and all that. We are still going to see that in coming days. So if you're actually looking at investing in this market now, it's actually a good time to actually invest into the market, because you can see it. You can, based on this line here, you can see what we have here. It's actually broken this line here. broken this line, and right now it's actually broken this line. Now the next line of action for it that is likely still going, the next line of action that is going to break now is to break this line. Anything that makes us break this line, come to this area before we can see a retracement back again and still move and still push forward. And remember the week here, you can see the week here was still around 0.04. The weeks here actually moved here. So all this, you understanding how the week is moving, the buying pressure, the selling pressure, and all that. That you can actually see, and I showed you guys a lot of people actually buying. There's a lot of buying pressure in the market space when looking at it. The buying pressure is actually very much when looking at the market space. I actually showed you guys the buying pressure of this market is actually very much when looking at it. So all this actually good sign that the market is actually going according to plan. The market is actually going well when looking at it, because looking at the market itself, looking at the buying pressure is actually very much when looking at it. Looking at the buying pressure, you can see the buying pressure currently. You can see a lot of people, based on this, you can see a lot of people are actually buying instead of selling. There's a lot of buying in the market instead of selling when looking at it. You can see it here. There's a lot of buying. You can see it. I believe everyone can see what's happening. There's a lot of buying. You can see a lot of people sold. But what if you calculate it now? You can see the buying pressure of the market is actually more than the people that's actually selling when looking at it. So all this actually sign that the market is actually going according to, all this actually sign that the market is actually going according to plan, or the way the market is expected to go. All these actually important points that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market space, or when trying to understand what we should need to take note of when looking at the market, and all these actually important factor that we must actually take note of when looking at the market space. And I believe you guys are getting a lot in which I'm actually dishing out to you guys in the course of today's interesting conversation. Please and please, if you have any question whatsoever, please, you are free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep pushing forward in the course of today's session. So all these actually important points, all actually the important points that we need to take. So you can see there's a lot of buying pressure. Maybe a lot of few people will just come on board. Actually, after this line, you can see we have here, before the selling, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see the 7 people. You can see a lot of buying pressure. A lot of people bought here. A lot of people actually bought here, in which a lot of people are still buying. The market is still very pushing. A lot of people bought. Now this place, now people that actually, the amount of people that actually bought, maybe these people bought maybe $1,000, these people bought $500. So now it depends on the range in which people buy or people sell. That is what we have, that okay, one is actually higher than one is actually higher than one when looking at it. So now, apart from this line in which you have here, now maybe we can say if someone just come now, a Judas, because in any market you actually have a Judas. Let me just put that, you actually have a Judas in any market. Funny to say. So now we might see a Judas coming into the market to actually still to come and sell off, to actually just take profit and all that. Now, if it's actually, I remember I told you guys that it's financial institutions that actually push the way the market actually move, the impact of the market. These are financial institutions. If we have a lot of if we have the financial institution investing in the market, we actually can see a push in the market, and actually most times it actually follows the trend of the Bitcoin market, the way the Bitcoin market moves. And right now, the Bitcoin market actually showing strength, in which you actually see a lot of movement in the market space when looking at it. So all these are actually important points that we need to take note of when looking at the market space, or when trying to say, okay, this is the right way to actually invest. This is how I want to actually invest into the market. This is how I want to go into the market. And also all these actually important factors that we must actually take note of when looking at the market and others. So that is all what we want to be talking about in the course of today's conversation. I believe you guys have gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in the course of today's conversation. So we'll be live again tomorrow for another interesting conversation. So please and please, if you're here to invest into this token, now is the right time for you to key into this token to invest in it. If you're looking at a token to actually buy, to actually invest in, now is actually a good time for you to actually to actually invest into the market and all that. So that is all what we'll be talking about in today's conversation. That is all what we'll be talking about in today's conversation. Join me same time tomorrow for another interesting conversation where we'll be live again to talk more about the market space, what we should take note about the markets, what are the various points we need to know when looking at the market space, and all that. We'll be talking more about all this as we move ahead in our discussion tomorrow as we come online to talk more. So we'll actually be looking more of analysis, because we are gradually getting into the Bull period next year. The Bull period is already, the Bull period is actually already around the corner. So you having the right way to, you actually looking at the market, saying that okay, this is the right way to actually invest in, this is the right way to actually go into the market. It will actually give you an edge in a long run when looking at the market himself. Okay, and also I also have I'm also live on YouTube currently, in which you can actually go into my YouTube channel to actually follow me live. You can actually follow my profile on my YouTube channel, in which probably subsequently I'll be dropping red carpet on my YouTube channel, in which you can actually join and get impacted from and all that. So I'll actually be dropping my YouTube link. Where's the link? Where's the link? I'll actually be dropping my YouTube link right now, so you can actually go to my YouTube channel and check out this section and just comment. The first 10 people that comment or thereabout, I'll be giving out airdrop to everyone on this call. The first few people that actually connect, that comment on my YouTube channel, I'll be giving out airdrop. And also kindly follow me and all, and just type something that you actually followed my class, and I'll be giving out airdrop to everyone. You actually drop your address and thereabout, and I'll drop the code, and you guys will actually and get airdrop. So you can actually go to my YouTube channel to actually comment and all that. If you've listened to me, if you've enjoyed to this section. So that's all what we'll be focusing on in today's conversation. I've actually dropped this is my YouTube channel. Please, you can actually go to my YouTube channel to actually comment and thereabout, so that I will know you guys are with me all through the way. So that's all what we'll be talking about in today's session. Thank you so much for joining us live. Especially thanks to everyone that joined us live in today's conversation. I can see everyone that's actually connected live. I believe you guys have enjoyed yourself and had a wonderful time with me in the course of today's section. Thank you so much. See you same time tomorrow for another interesting section. Bye guys, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye guys.